So before I start this video, I just want to say that this video is fair use, so all the media used in this video is used for criticism, review, or in a transformative way. All the information I present is public information and everything else is alleged in my opinion or just a joke. So I am going to talk about Carmageddon and all the stuff that has happened regarding that since my last video on it, which was my last video. But I'll probably do that in the next video because I am personally kind of fed up with all that and talking about it and hearing about it. But I also feel kind of uncomfortable grouping it into like my other petty tea videos. So I am just going to be talking about random shit that's happened in the YouTube community. Also, do you like my stickers? Are they nice? So this Twitch streamer or former Twitch streamer called Dr. Disrespect has been permanently banned from Twitch, and a lot of people were kind of talking about it because there was no information given out about it. Nobody actually knows why he was banned, but obviously you have to do something incredibly serious to get banned. So this was a pretty big thing within the Twitch community. So another big Twitch streamer called Slasher said on a group live stream that the reason for Dr. Disrespect's ban is really confidential and staff at Twitch either don't know or have to keep it under wraps. Shortly after that, Disrespect lost two sponsors, one being Game Fuel and the other one being Razer. And then shortly after they decided that they didn't want to work with them anymore, they retracted that and went back to being his sponsor. So Slasher came out and said that he does apparently know the reason and it is very serious. But obviously he can't tell anyone because not even like Twitch people can tell anyone. So the next thing I want to talk about is the big YouTube demonetization thing. So a lot of YouTubers have been getting their entire channel demonetized or all of their videos have limited ads on them for seemingly no reason, and it's been like a whole thing, and a bunch of YouTubers were tweeting out adding Team YouTube and just asking them what the fuck was going on because apparently they weren't allowed to appeal it either. So a bunch of people just got demonetized or just lost a bunch of monetization, and apparently YouTube is looking into it, so I don't really know what exactly that means, and it's just like a really weird situation to begin with. And the next thing I want to talk about is David Dobrik. So recently he's been called out for having said very insensitive jokes in the past. Seth, who used to appear in a lot of his videos but not anymore, came out with a statement, and I'm pretty sure he was just like apologizing for his part in it and like not stopping them in a way and basically trying to hold them accountable and tell them that it isn't okay. And I feel like if I was in that situation, like if I was Seth, it would make sense to like not want to call them out in that moment because David Dobrik is like a very big YouTuber and therefore could be very powerful. Not in like a scary way, I'm just saying, well, it could be in a scary way like Jeffree Star, but like I'm just saying like there was a lot to lose because their friend group is seemingly very immature and I feel like they would maybe brush it off or something like that, like TANA MONGEAU, which I will talk about. But yeah, that came out, and then David, I'm pretty sure he didn't actually say anything. He was attending the Black Lives Matter protests and he talked about this in his podcast where he also addressed the jokes that he made in his previous videos.
Jason and I have made, I don't know, over 600-700 videos together. I couldn't even tell you. And the intention with every single video is to make people laugh. And with that being said, I feel like on a handful of occasions I've just missed the mark on that. And that really bums me out. And that kind of sucks that it took me so long to understand. But I think when we went to our first Black Lives Matter protest and I was looking through my DMs afterwards, and it's one thing to get DMs from somebody going, hey, your video's so funny, or this was so funny, but it's a completely different thing to get DMs about how much your alliance with a cause means for that person and their family, or how much it means that you're using your voice to amplify theirs. Like, that is a completely different feeling. But that's when I realized, holy shit, there's people that are seriously looking up to me for things more than just something goofy. You know, I think for a while I was kind of just like, I'm the goofball. That's all I am. But I think there's parts of this where I need to be more serious because I want to be a good role model for the people watching. And I'm ashamed and I'm embarrassed about some of the things I did in videos or in Vines or whatever I was doing. And I genuinely feel awful about it.
Liza, who has also been called out for her involvement in these jokes, posted an apology on Twitter, starting with a quote that says, "You can be somebody who has no intention to be racist, but because you're conditioned in a world that is racist in a country that is structured in anti-black racism, you can find yourself perpetuating those ideas, no matter what color you are." She continues to say, "This quote was shared with me in a conversation a couple of weeks ago and has been sitting in my heart ever since. While we focus on systemic anti-black racism in our country, I've been hesitant to center my voice. My work has been within, but I now recognize and take responsibility for the times I was not the ally I am becoming today. Being anti-racist requires a personal reckoning, and I can't, in good faith, continue to use my platform for progress without taking accountability myself. I am taking inventory, taking initiative, and taking note that my impact and influence were way higher than my intention. What I once thought of as innocent jokes were actually tainted with implicit bias, and what might have been intended as playful was actually to some incredibly painful, and for that I am sorry. As a woman of color and a self-defined little brown girl, I have experienced the harm and prejudice in my own life. However, this reality does not exempt me from the responsibility of acknowledging the times I have unknowingly perpetuated racist ideas. I see now that some of my previous influences and my own past thinking, speaking and storytelling reinforces stereotypes. I created characters of different cultures in the intent of celebrating them, but with the impact of appropriating them. Impact outweighs intent. I am sorry to the beautiful communities that I have caused hurt within. It takes a combination of individual and collective reckoning with our past to heal and move forward together. Consider this my resignation from ignorance and my declaration as an ally in action. I will give grace, make space, and break these damn systems in place like my life depends on it, because too many do. Thank you to my guardian angels in life and online who have been gracefully guiding this growth of mine, and I thank God for my continued awakening. You can have your own opinions on that. I just personally think there are a lot of great quotes and things to take away from her apology. I think a really good thing to take away from this is that impact outweighs intent. So I feel like I've talked about this before, but apparently not, because I've gone through like my past videos and apparently I haven't talked about it, which is wild. So this guy called Kahlen came out and made a video about TANA MONGEAU. He previously made a statement before this, but then he came out and actually made a video where he basically called TANA MONGEAU out on, I mean, a lot, I guess. I thought I'd had, like, not only did I not already make a video on this, I also haven't written notes about this, which is, like, I thought, did that not happen? So there may be a couple things that I missed out, but essentially he said that he had issues with trying to communicate to Tana about issues that he had with TANA MONGEAU, specific things regarding race, especially when it came to, like, her previous use of the N-word. Like, whenever he had tried to talk to her about any serious issue, especially regarding her racist tendencies and stuff like that, he would always be gaslighted and brushed off, and this was not only Tana, but Jordan would do this a lot as well. And he just spoke a lot about the microaggressions that he faced and how he was made out to be the angry black man. I've watched a couple of Tana's videos, like back in the day when she was like at her peak, about her story times and stuff like that. I don't know if she's changed much since then, but I wouldn't say that she's the most non-confrontational person. So I don't know why Kahlen was made out to be this angry black person when in reality he was just trying to speak to her and talk to her about these issues that he was genuinely concerned about. They also had a collab channel called Trash, and apparently nobody was paid for that collab channel. I don't really know, but there was this one collaboration where people were paid. There were multiple white creators and Kahlen was the only black one there, and when he was supposed to get paid, he just didn't. So he went out to Jordan and he asked about his payment because he hadn't received it, and Jordan brushed it off and was like, oh, you probably just gave me the wrong details or something. And then eventually he did get paid, but there should have been nothing wrong with the bank details because Jordan had his details from before. And then he went to this party with Tana and Jordan, and again they were pretty much just white people there, and he was like the only black person. And then he was walking around and a bunch of people were going up to him and be like, oh my god, Tana told me that you got arrested. And so he was really confused, and he found out it was apparently because Jordan texted Tana that there were police at the party, and Tana received that text and just assumed that Kahlen got arrested, which obviously isn't a good look. So all that happened, and then Tana took a fat while to respond, but eventually she did, and she said, first, I'd like to apologize to Kahlen directly for my silence. There are no excuses. I should have talked and listened to you. Instead, I've been trying to find the words to address this and apologize in a way that won't further hurt anyone and educate myself on how to handle this properly. I am so sorry that came with any silence, but I am taking responsibility for all my actions in the past. I know I am an adult. There are no excuses for my behavior, and I know that I've done my best to educate myself and grow as a person from who I was in the past. I want to be the best version of myself who continues to grow, but I know that just educating myself isn't enough to truly grow, and I need to take accountability for my past actions and address them in order to truly grow. I'm sorry for staying silent. I will continue to be addressing and apologizing for everything with full transparency. I want to apologize directly to Kahlen Barry for everything I ever did to make him feel that I was being microaggressive or racist. That is so far from who I am, and will spend a lifetime trying to show you that. I want to apologize once again for all of my past tweets, as they are unacceptable and disgusting, and I know how truly far I am from that person now. To think I've ever had a sense of humor that relied on shock value like that fucking disgusts me. I am so sorry to anyone who was angered by my silence. I should have instantly said this. It breaks my heart to see people say I'm only being a performative activist. I truly stand by my morals now and will continue using my platform and doing everything I can to fight for what is right and equality. But I completely understand how my silence is not the right thing to do if that's how I want to be perceived. I will be better. Thank you to my fans for holding me accountable and expecting better. Anything I can do to be better, grow, and to be a help to society with my platform, and nothing but that. please let me know. I'm not that Tana, and I refuse to do anything but evolve and educate myself. I'm so sorry it took me this long to even say this. Again, this is another thing that you guys can form your own opinions on. Some people said it took you a week to address this. And let's not forget to mention you knew the entire time and had Jordan put him and Trash in a group chat. What you really need to do is take a hard look at yourself and how you've always acted. You're defensive, do everything in your power to keep your relevance, and care more about being cancelled or having public likability than realizing how serious this is. And that was from a fan. I personally don't know how to feel about the apology, considering I know these are like two completely unrelated things, but the way that she acted on her MTV show and how she exposed her personality and behavior there kind of affects how I view this, because I always have like an image of like who she is now from that MTV show, and it's not a good image, so I kind of always have a doubt in my mind about like whether or not anything she says regarding something serious actually has to do with wanting to apologize, or if it's wanting to save herself, because she didn't mention anything from MTV. She just made that long video about how she's the victim in her life. And the last thing I have here says, I'm so over people taking what's going on in the US to expose and cancel people. Everyone is screaming at Tana for a week of silence, but Kahlen wasted how long to speak up? He had every opportunity to. Tana is not racist, the past is the past. Okay, obviously this is a white girl, we fucking know that. This is a great opportunity to expose and cancel everyone, because now people actually give a damn. If Kahlen came out with this last year or whenever the fuck this actually was, nobody would give a fuck. Everyone would call him a clout chaser. TANA MONGEAU wouldn't be held accountable because nobody actually cared. Saying that people speaking up now is a bad thing because they're using Black Lives Matter as an excuse to speak up is like saying women shouldn't have spoken up about sexual assault from ages ago just because the Me Too movement was a thing. Like, no, that's not how this works. So you're incredibly mad at Kahlen for taking a long time to speak up about this, when in reality this is a very good time to speak up about this. And then you end with it saying, Tana is not racist, the past is the past. I don't know why I'm a drama channel when I cannot articulate the words that I am trying to say, but you do not get to decide. You might not view Tana as racist, but judging from her past behavior and the racist tendencies and the microaggressive things that she does and says to people of color to this day, or at least up until her apology, goes against what you're saying. You don't know Tana, we don't know Tana, we're all judging from her own online persona, and so far, the people who believe Tana is racist or was racist or has racist tendencies are winning. You cannot just say the past is the past. Again, I can say that about anything. If I murder somebody and then it turns out that I got found out 5 years later, well, the past is the past. The family's already mourned. Are you absolutely serious? Alyssa Anderson, shut the fuck up. I said at the start of the video I was gonna do more of a tea video and not include all the Carmageddon stuff because it was too serious, but then I ended up talking about really, really serious things anyway, so my excuse now is that I just don't want to group them all together because that's a very big story all on its own, and if I can get that video out tomorrow, I will. That's why I have for you guys today. If you like this video or if you liked me, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you didn't like me, make sure to get in contact with my teachers because I bet you'll have a lot in common, and make sure to stay safe and stay hydrated.